video game Nexomon. Now, this game is a turn-based RPG monster battler. Think the traditional Pokemon style games. This game was developed by Viwu Interactive Incorporated. I apologize if I missaid that name. And it was published by P-Cube Industries. Now, this game was... I wasn't really expecting anything out of this game. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised about it. I was actually really entertained for what this game has to offer. Now, I judge this game in 5 different categories, and I'll be starting with graphics. Now, this game's graphics, which it's kind of twofold. You got the animated-looking graphics, like you see here in the combat with the characters and the enemies and like the interface, and then you have this more like watercolor style, picturesque for like the backgrounds and the environments. Now, to me, I don't like when they use like 2 distinctly different graphics for a game, but it does mesh together pretty well. The animations look pretty nice, which I'm surprised. But outside of that, you know, it's about what you would expect for this era game. This was originally a phone game, I think it was, before it came to consoles. So, for a phone game, it actually looks pretty good. Now, for the story. This one's... In Pokemon, you start off and you try to become, like, the best trainer ever and capture all the Pokemon. In this game, essentially it's, you wake up, stuff happens, you go outside, you meet up with your friend, and you end up going on an adventure of your lifetime. And the whole thing about the game is you're trying to save the world. It's a lot more serious than the Pokemon games. The Pokemon games are more like kid focused oriented. This one's more adult oriented. There's a lot of points where there's like fourth wall breaking with Atlas, and like the characters are all pretty well done. I mean, there's a few that I was kind of, I didn't understand the point of the game, or that like you saw them once and they disappeared, which made no sense to me. One issue I have with the story is apparently this is a sequel to the phone game Nexomon, and it explains what happens in something that's mentioned in this game. And honestly, I do hope that they bring that game over so I can see it, because one of the main quote-unquote bad guys shows up like twice throughout the game. Just twice. And you don't know, you find out his name in the last conversation, and that's literally all you know about that particular character. Now, he's not the main villain of the game, but he's a big cause of what happens. A lot of the characters up and disappear from the story. So, and there's even a couple of mentions towards the sequel of the game, which is already out. At some point I'll probably do a walkthrough and review of that one. But all in all, the story's interesting. You feel like you're being ran ragged and you might not be reaching the end of the game. Atlas even says as much. So I thought it was funny that how you feel in the game is generally how your characters feel in the game. So the story's pretty good. Now, for music in the game. To me, I really like the music, considering that this isn't really as far as I can tell, it wasn't really a big budget game. So, and there's a lot of there's pretty much different music for every city and every new area you get to in the game. There's multiple different battle musics depending on what your fight is, and the sound effects for the abilities and stuff. They all sound well. The music is great. The sound effects are okay in my opinion. There we go. I'll split them up. Now for gameplay and mechanics, it's your traditional turn-based RPG. You and your opponent take turns beating the crap out of each other. Nothing special about that. The controls are very simple. You know, you don't really use a whole bunch. So it's easy to get into it. Now, when moving around on the map, it's a bit sluggish for when you move the character. I mean, you're on the world map, you're not doing anything strenuous. So it's not bad, and it's not great for the controls. But the gameplay overall is a very minimalistic system. And then there's the whole rebirth mechanic, which takes place in the epilogue of the game, which is interesting. Now, this game has one mechanic in it that I thought was interesting, but at the same time, it is a perfectionist nightmare. As far as I'm aware, there is absolutely no level cap. As you can see here, my legendary Lava is level 216. So it's neat, but at the same time, it's different. And this game with that uncapped level cap, I think would have been great to have with a New Game Plus. That's just my opinion, because then you could just play through the game repeatedly with the same guy to make them stronger and stronger and stronger. Now for the achievements. Almost all the achievements in this game are based on story progression. So, I mean, you get most of them just playing through the game, but then you got some for winning so many battles, collecting a few, some, a lot, most, almost all, and all the Nexomon in the game. Now, I've already completed all the achievements. None of them are insanely hard. Maybe time consuming, but none of them are hard. So, normally I rate a game 7 out of 10 as average instead of the industry standard. Sorry, I got that backwards. Normally I rate a game 5 out of 10 for average instead of the industry standard of 7 or 8. And this game is, overall, it's a fairly good monster catching game. The story's good, the graphics are, the characters are good, the backgrounds, and the music's great, the sound effects are decent. The gameplay mechanics, there's some interesting things, and the controls are very simple. The achievements aren't bad, so I'd give this game, I'd say a 7 out of 10. This is a fairly solid monster catcher game with RPG, turn-based RPG elements, and with the story, the game will keep you laughing throughout. Atlas is a riot. So, 7 out of 10, and I will